legit na to. RSG on the play, Omega on swing back. Okay, sundan natin yung original na bans, I believe.
Thing I'm gonna be looking at here is if mababan ulit yung Beatrix dito sa first phase again. As far as I know, Beatrix might be an automatic ban here, so you don't need to ban it, and at the same time, di natin siya makikita ma-pick. So that might be the adjustment here for Smart Omega sa pagban ng Beatrix, and the other bans might be the same. Tingnan natin what the teams agreed on.
Yep. Again, meron talaga something yung sniper ni Beatrix. So, today, not gonna play at all. We're following suit. Okay? Instead of the Kufra, naging glue ban muna. So, ito yung tama. And then Esmeralda, taking out of red side. Sobrang lakas na Esmeralda. I believe Esmeralda solid even first pick blue. Parang ganun siya kalakas mga gulang right now.
Yeah, there's not a lot of heroes that can stop the warpath of Esmeralda. A team up against an Esmeralda, they just have to really do their best to either give her a hard time in the early game, i-gank nyo siya sa lane niya, make sure she gets 2 early deaths so you can stop her flow. But then at the same time, Esmeralda also has that ability to come back in the mid game if you give her a bad early game. So in terms of solid picks, yun talaga si Esmeralda. Parang sobrang efas na first pick na mahirap magkamali.
Efas Esmeralda. That's essentially what she is. Even on the red side, no? Ma-first face mo siya, solid na solid yan. So, that being said, I believe that's Edith. That is a better ban overall. Nagtataka ako nung kaninang first original ban, eh. Bakit hindi siya, first original draft, bakit hindi siya lumabas first phase? So, now, I believe first pick, we get the Paquito.
Paquito, if might most likely will be a jungle Paquito. We have Jonard Cedric Caranto, we know him as Demon Kite on the table here for RSG Philippines. That's one of his signature picks in the jungle. Pero sa Smart Omega, sabi nila, okay, wala yung Esmeralda. We're gonna get the second or one of the top 3 options right now in the XP lane, that Uranus. Kung walang sagot dito ang RSG, maging problema siya sa split pushing, and then at the same time, it's gonna be a presence you'll have a hard time taking down. And they also pick up the Lancelot. That's gonna be their jungle pick.
Ganito kaagang Uranus, hindi ko alam kung mag-agree ako dito. I mean, napakaganda na ipinakita ng hero na to nung ating recent World Championships. But not this early on, lalo na kung kaharap mo yung RSG na kilala natin, kahit na medyo bago lineup nila going into this national team selection tournament, is napaka-action Jackson na team. They really look for those team fights. So, ewan ko lang kung ganito ka, how do I say, passive hero, it is a good pick. RSG on the swing back, they pick up the Cho and the Agura. Again, very fast.
Yeah, fast-paced, having the Cho on the table. It could also still go into the side lane, pero good chance na magiging roam pick to para sa RSG Philippines. Now for the Kagura, you get that burst magic damage that you need. Something that you'll need in the mid to the late game pag makunat na yung Uranus na to. Pero para sa Smart Omega, I like the answer here. They also go for the Brody. So the Brody and the Uranus together in the same team, that's gonna be a problem for your towers. Kung hindi maalagaan ng RSG Philippines yung mga tore nila sa side lanes, we know Brody can take down towers really fast. We also know can be a difficult target to take down. He can buy time. Pag mag-gank siya habang nagsisplit push, a good timing with the second skill, getting that stun while at the same time kiting your targets. It's a good solid pick here for Smart Omega.
Yep, okay na okay si Brody kahit katapat niya minsan yung mga pinakamalalakas na assassin. So, kahit pasukin man siya ng Cho or ng Paquito, may chance kang mag-survive. Going to the second phase, they take out the Clint, and then they also go ahead and take out the Eve. Yan, gustong-gusto ko yung Eve ban this time around. Wala pang solid mid lane ang Smart Omega. Pero, I don't know. Remember, nakita na tayo ng mid Brody dati. So who's to say na baka hindi to i-pick up ni Cap. Eto Max, ni Kaidik.
Oh, posible yan. At the same time, kailangan din ng if I'm not mistaken, more magic damage para sa side ng Smart Omega. So RSG Philippines, tinatanggal lang nila yung mga top options na pwede piliin dito ni Itomax. So there's a good chance Itomax might end up playing the Farsa. Again, it's still an option, but it's gonna be so hard. You're up against Paquito and a Cho already. Lilia is still in the table kung trip nila gamitin yun as a support pick in the mid lane.
Lilia, very, very open. You're right. Although, ang pinag-usapan nandito again, Smart Omega, no? Sila ang pinaka-recently nalala kong gumamit, naging isang gumamit at nanalo sa mid Phobius. And Phobius is still open. So baka pwede pa gamitin ng Omega yon.
Yeah. Right now, RSG Philippines taking out also the top picks. Yeah, they can go for the roam for Joshua Mangilog. We also know him as Jack No. Pero sabi ng Smart Omega, okay, sige, tanggalin niyo yung mga alam natin na meta, quote-unquote meta picks. Gagamitin namin ni Nana, which I love this pick. That Molina Smooch, yung second skill niya, yung magiging stop toy ka, mahinto din yung show, mahinto mo yung pakito pag gusto nila lumapit.
And hindi siya pwedeng i-purify ng isang Kagura if I'm not mistaken. Walang cleanse yun. Kasi naging stop toy ka eh.
Oo. Ibang label yung ability niya, so you won't be able to purify that. Ibang status. Sa RSG Philippines though, okay, Popol and Koopa ang narinig ko na pick, so that's gonna be their gold laner kasi yung Smart Omega, tinanggal nila kanina yung Clint at saka yung Kimmy, and they also decide to pick up the Ruby. So Popol and Koopa, gold laner nila, they have the Pakito in the jungle, Ruby for the XP lane. It's a solid lineup for RSG Philippines. I like the Ruby pick because kailangan din mag-ingat sa timing dito. Ang Lancelot and pre, ito sinasabi ko dati sa live, they pick up a Minsitar pick and this is gonna be the roamer.
Wow! There's only, you know what? Isa lang naman ang roamer ng Omega sa araw na ito, sa tournament na ito, at yan si Mangilog, si Chuck Mamba. So, isa na namang aspeto, isa na namang evolusyon para kay Chuck Mamba na magpakita dito sa atin ng Minsitar na napaka-interesting nga naman ng kit. Men, paano papasok dito yung mga heroes ng RSG Philippines? Paano tatapatan to? Ni Light, ni Katipon, no, na bagong salta sa RSG Philippines. Because if I'm not mistaken, nakasub ngayon si Mr. Fundamental. Nakasub ngayon si Heath.
Yeah, it's gonna be Light in the roam position for RSG Philippines. Para sa RSG, they really need to time their ability uses very, very well. Isang lapag lang ng King's Calling ng Minsitar, yung mga dashes meron ng RSG Philippines, the Pakito, the Cho, even the Ruby, the slight jumps that she does a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, might actually be stopped by the King's Calling. So hindi makakakembot-kembot si Ruby masyado.
Ganun siya, ayaw gumalaw. Guys, ayaw. Okay, interesting. In one pick, in that last pick on red, Omega somehow maybe has cornered RSG Philippines. Pero tingnan natin, nabanggit din natin na medyo mabagal ang gagawin nila dito. Medyo one at a time ang targeting nila. Kasi kahit yung Minsitar, di ba? Yung hook niya, yung kila ng Minsitar is one target. Yung smooch, isang target lang din yun. Yung stun ng Brody, isa lang yun. So, let's see, baka step by step ang laro ng Omega dito, while RSG Philippines, gawin pa rin nila yung standard nila, yung approach nila na collapse, yung 5-man collapse, tapos sa humanap, sa gumalaw.
Yeah. And RSG Philippines actually, they have to set their eyes a little bit more on the towers. Oo, alam natin yung RSG Philippines, yung parang death ball nila na once that 4 minutes is up, first 4 minutes, once that first turtle is up, alam mo, maghahanap sila ng team fight. Having a high-impact jungler katulad ni Pakito means you get a lot of damage. So whoever will be rotating as 3 or 4, RSG Philippines, maghahanap lang sila ng target. They'll be able to get a kill. They might go invade or they might go focus on one lane and force a tower push. That's a signature RSG playstyle. So sinagot dito ng Smart Omega is, okay, kung ganun kayo, kilala din na kami para sa mga team fights namin kung paano kami balagbag lumaban talaga. So, we're gonna draft a lineup that will give your lineup a hard time, which on paper it looks like Smart Omega was able to do just that. Pero kahit sa papeles, maganda yung lineup dito ng Smart Omega, RSG Philippines, they will be able to play around that. Maayos lang ng timing ng mga abilities nila. Hanapin lang nila yung King's Calling, where the Minsitar is, where the Molina Smooch is.
Omega Esports. Pasok na tayo dito. Binabandihan lang ni Mangilog, mananakaw ba? Hindi. Secured pa rin dito ni Ryzen that Lancelot. We'll start calling him Sumagi.
Yeah.
At
Now,
party lang. Trinay bilisan ng RSG Philippines pero may sagot ang Omega.
Good defense there by Omega Esports. So, dandan lang ang laro, makita natin they're gonna be farming up. Pero Light and Aqua, ginagawa lahat nila kayang gawin para mahinto dito si Ryzen or at least magbigay ng info kung saan ang Lancelot.
Oh, Aqua, binibigyan ng konti dito si Eto Max. Oh, uwi muna. So, medyo maganda ang palitan dito, RSG Philippines. Nanalo sila sa exchange doon. Ngayon, si Kenji, Villa, siya pala ang gagamit ng Ruby. So, Ruby facing off against the Uranus. Okay pa, kilala ni Villa itong hero na to. Specialty niya yata to.
Familiar na siya dyan. So, for Kenji there, he really just needs to time it really well, hold down the XP lane really well. Renjo, papahirapan niya dito si Kenji, but at some point, RSG Philippines will have to help Kenji out, force out Renjo, or kung hindi dun sila magagank, they're gonna be focusing on outplay dun the Brody. Kailangan mo din pahirapan ng Brody na yan and not give it an easy time with the farming. Aqua, grabe yung
Oh, Mangilog knocked up here by Katipon. Confirmed first blood drawn here. Napunta kay Aqua. Pero trade.
Muntik pa nga maging double kill para kay Aqua doon, but it was Itomax was able to get away. Pero walang tank dito ang Omega Esports. So si Renjo magsasub sa Turtle Pit para
Red team hero has been slain.
Turtle take by RSG Philippines. Pero top lane, may bawi naman sila. Napabagsak nila si Manhaog, aka Yakno the Kingslayer. So medyo mahirapan si Kingslayer dito. I think there is a small advantage for the Brody sa simula. Agree ka ba doon, Renmar?
It's a pretty even trade. 1-1 pareha sila sa lane ngayon. And in terms of the minion waves, they're both handling it really well. Pero two-man rotation top side for both teams. Kung merong mananalo dito sa trade, well, they might just end up winning the lane.
Oh, Katipon finds one, Way of the Dragon. Papabagsakin naman dito si Mincitar, si Mangilog. Mabubuhay pa, agatin! Nabuhay pa si Mangilog!
Hinanap ni Light.
Oh, nahanap din. Light finishes the job.
And there you have it. Kakasabi ko lang, this is a good chance here for Yaknu to get a good lead in the gold lane. But outplayed, was able to keep himself at a good health. Sakripisyo yun ni Yaknu. So right now it's actually more even. And because Ryzen, naramdaman din ni Yaknu ba may magro-rotate na Lancelot sa akin dito, he backed off a little bit. So dead even again in the gold lane. But Yaknu having an assist and more assists for RSG, it's gonna be a slight gold lead para sa kanila.
Si outplayed dito, trivia lang, ay last niya ay Villa din. So, hindi ko alam kung magkamag-anak sila ni Kenji ng RSG Philippines. Pero lalaman natin yan mamaya, tanungin natin. In the jungle, bibisita tayo ni Renzio. Makikita siya dito ni Kenji. Ihilahin niya ba? Hindi, hahayaan lang. Again, it's so hard to catch a Uranus like this. Pero nakakawa niya orange. That's good. Small win for Omega there.
Yeah, and Omega, susubukan nila gumantay dun sa top lane. Pero si Chakno mahatak lang niya si Koopa. So I like we're seeing a lot of patience from both of these two teams. Pero kailangan na bumalik ni Kenji sa bottom lane kasi baka mahirapan siya mag-clear ng minion wave doon. And that's gonna be a bit of gold for Renjo from the energy shields.
15 seconds about left on the shielding. And now top lane, papahirapan nila si Light. Ryzen papasok dito, threatening the kill onto Aqua. Bibitawan lang muna yung Kagura. Napakadaming pressure sa gold lane ng RSG Philippines.
Pero dahil sa top side rotation na yun, second turtle mapupunta ulit sa RSG. Demon Kite picking up another one, and Omega Esports and both teams actually, they need to find a way to stop the momentum of either their junglers or their late game carries. Because right now, yung mga napipick off lang, it's you have the supports, then at the same time, one kill their trade para sa gold laners. They're gonna need to find a high impact kill right away. If not, yung game-changing moment makita natin sa isang malaking team fight.
And pag sinabi nating team fight, RSG Philippines, sila yung may firepower. Pero Omega yung may stopping power. Ang dami nilang CC. Tapos kung gusto nila i-focus fire isa, kayang-kaya. So napaka-interesting ng dynamic dito, ladies and gentlemen. Naghahanapan sila ng pwedeng i-pick off. pero isa lang talaga yung pwedeng manalo eh. Pagandahan na lang ng trades. So now Light, naghahanap. Can he find Chaknu? Alam nilang nandito pa si Outplayed. May na-push na lane. And that's bottom lane. Interesting, no? Talagang pinag-initan dun sa bottom lane ni Demon Kite. Yung Torre ni Renzio.
Yeah, and they needed to do that considering that was Uranus, and that's one of the points na na-mention ko kanina. Kenji, kailangan din yan ng tulong dun sa lane na yun. So they were able to focus that down, and that's gonna be more room para kay Kenji, para makaikot sa mapa, para makatulong sa team fights. Makaka-set up din siya. He is playing a Ruby, so he'll be able to go around more, but it looks like Kenji, alam niya, gusto din mag-cut ni Renjo, so pareha sila nagka-cut wave.
Oo. Katathon na yan. One wave each. Mid lane daw, 3 ang miyembro ng Omega Esports dito. And pumoposisyon lang sila. I think they're buying time dito sa top lane para maka-turtle, makabawi. Renzio, papaulanan dito ni Kenji at ni Demon Kite. Habulan, flicker in! With the ult offended going in for the kill. Nakaisa doon si Caranto.
At ngayon nakikita ng Omega Esports ang problema nila sa mapa. Meron silang turtle na mag-spawn pero dun sa bottom lane din mag-split push dun si Ruby. So how are they gonna manage the map? They have a minion wave to worry about, pero Omega Esports sabi nila, sige, sa turtle na lang kami.
Turtle now, this is 50-50 actually. Maganda po sila parehong team. Papasok sila ngayon dito, papasabugan. Makuha ang Turtle na Omega Esports. Pero babagsak muna dito si Mangilog. Light traded out, keep on pause. Eto papasabugan, meron ba siya passive? I think he does. Nana, 1-for-1 trade so far. Nakabawi doon ang Omega Esports.
Yep, at nakuha nila yung turtle going onto the hands of Itomax. Pero kung Omega Esports ka, masaya ka na hindi nakuha ng RSG Philippines yung turtle. That makes 2 turtles for RSG, 1 for Omega Esports. That'll keep the gold a little bit closer. Tinitignan din ng Omega Esports yung gold lead dito ng RSG Philippines, and now they're trying to eye on taking down that gold lane turret afterwards. Maganda yung team fight na nangyari para sa 2 teams. Wala masyadong nawala na miyembro for either side. Omega Esports, they're really happy with that small win.
Yep. Again, behind sila. So humahabol sila sa lagay na to. Eto Max, makakaapak dito ng traps ni Yaknu. Chaknu, bumabanda na, makakagat siya dito. Pushing back. Corner part. Memory, babagsak si Light. Katipon falls. There's the Phantom Execution. Ryzen, makakasurvive ba siya? Hindi. Papabagsakin. Traded out by the King's Slayer. Papasok ngayon si Caranto sa may likod. Outplayed, bursted down, buhay na buhay pa. Flicker in already. Aqua, helping Demon Kite get another one. Hindi siya naka-double. Eto Max, buhay pa. And will not even trigger the passive. Pero mapapush ang top lane.
Ito yung sinasabi natin sa lineup ng RSG Philippines. Yes, on paper, maganda yung lineup ng Omega Esports. Kontrahin ang teamfight capabilities ng RSG. Pero good timing with individual abilities. Kung magawa ng RSG Philippines, they'll be able to win fights. One key thing, Ryzen, nag-phantom execution para hanapin si Yaknu to take him down. Pero naka-timing si Yaknu ng second skill knock-up. That shield the Popol and Koopa gets. That moment of the knock-up onto Ryzen gave RSG Philippines time to deal the damage at para tanggalin ang jungler ng Omega Esports, and then RSG Philippines, hinabol na lang nila ang mga miyembro ng Omega Esports na naiwan doon.
Yep, yun yung sinasabi natin sa lineup ng Omega Esports ngayon. Napakaganda ng focus fire nila. Napakaganda ng specific target acquisition. Pero onti lang yung damage source. Pero speaking of pag gusto nila, nakukuha nila. Ayun no, nakita nila si Kenji. Dinala nila dun sa may bush. Tas wala, pick off, easy, free. 1 kill for Omega Esports. Pero mahabol pa rin sila. They are behind 2K.
Omega Esports, they have a good chance of winning this Lord fight if they decide to force it. Pero pumasok ang RSG!
Oh, Mangilog! Force with the flicker. Naghahanap siya dito ng pull. Eto Max, already flame shot. Pinapalayo. Hindi ito magandang laban. Hindi magandang posisyon ng Omega Esports dito. Ang call nila, sige, Kuya Renzio, Kadwa, mag-push ka muna dyan sa baba. Kailangan natin ng posisyon sa mapa.
Magandang call yun galing kay Aqua at Iyaknu. Great positioning by them in that middle shrub. Kasi alam nila meron mga miyembro ng Omega Esports na dadaan doon sa maliit na eskinita na yan papuntang mid lane. They were able to burst down Chaknu, and because of that, Omega Esports couldn't find good positioning. Pero Omega Esports, they're back to contest this Lord.
Yep, 4 men here. Pero si Renzio, hindi niya kinaya. Kulang siya ng farm. Kulang pa siya ng items. Demon Kite gets a free kill, and now a Lord at a third of its health. Walang contest mula sa Omega Esports. May enhance ang minions. ng RSG Philippines and slowly baka may mapush silang isang tier 2. Not the inhibitor. For sure, hindi naman babagsak ang inhibitor, pero tier 2 may babagsak yan.
Ito ang problema ngayon para sa Omega Esports dahil hindi nga nila nahinto ang momentum ni Demon kahit sobrang sakit na ng damage niya. Pero ang sakit na ng damage ni Ryzen!
Naulit na naman! Naulit na naman yung pagpasok ni Ryzen at ang perfect na response mula sa RSG Philippines. Ang hirap maging Lancelot ngayon.
Iaknu, great timing again, great sidestep and great response by Aqua, RSG Philippines. Minamata nila yung Torres sa top lane ng Omega Esports.
Pero mukhang may laban ng Omega Esports. They want to do more than just defend. They want to pick off Light. Katipon caught in the orange buff nest. And there it is! Kill by Chaklu. Mangilog taken one. Di man lang pinatapos si outplayed ng Torn Apart Memory. Bumagsak na ang bottom lane turret. Pinatid ni Demon Kite yung Lord sa bottom lane. Pero tinawa natin dito ngayon, yung wave ay sumabog na. Lord gonna fall in the inhibitor turret down bottom lane. May pangalawang babagsak na turret na mid. Pero wait lang, umahabol pa. Omega Esports, they want more. Hindi pa ready ang kanilang engagement kit. Okay pa. I think Omega Esports, not to pick a fight right now. 5K ahead ang RSG.
Sobrang laki ng lead ngayon ng RSG Philippines and Omega Esports. Kahit ang RSG mag-initiate ng mga team fights, Omega Esports will have a hard time countering. Chaknu will need to get key pick-offs there with the Spear of Glory. Mahinto mo lang yung momentum ng RSG Philippines or in help Omega Esports initiate. Itomax din yung Molina Blitz ultimate niya. Kailangan niya matimingan na maayos at maganda din yung positioning to stun the members of RSG Philippines to give time for Ryzen and Outplayed to deal the damage. At this point in the game, si Renjo magagawa lang niya talaga dito. Of course, as the Uranus, just try to split push and then at the same time, magiging sponge ka na lang para sa damage ng RSG.
Yep. So, it's the first part, I think that's more correct, Renmar. Pero ang ganda na sinabi mo, sobrang agree ako na yung hila ni Chaknu, yung hila ni Mangilog ang mas importante kasi in this 13-minute game, hindi pa tayo nakakita ni isa na malupit na King's Calling. Never pang na-trap yung RSG Philippines na ganun. So, that's one thing that Omega Esports has to do. Kung magawa nila siguro yun, mas liliit tong gold lead.
5K gold lead, RSG Philippines, sobrang taas pa in terms of the items. On the way to the Antique Raspa, dito si Renjo. Highest gold in the team for Mega Esports, Outplayed. Meron na siyang Malefic Roar along with the Blade of Despair and the Blade of the Heptasis. So, masakit naman talaga ngayon ang damage ng Brody. He just needs to hit that level 15 kasi ang dami na ding armor sa RSG.
Oh! I'm offended! Sinulan dito si Mangilog! The Mamba falls! Pinabagsak ni Aqua. So, easy pick off there. They'll convert straight into a Luminous Lord. Pero ito, nag-iisip yata sila. Wala pa yata sa mapa. Cannot.
Kailangan pa nila ipa-push yung minion wave doon sa bottom lane a little bit more. Pero andito na si Demon Kai, so umpisa na ng RSG Philippines. Mega Esports, mahirapan talaga sila dito mag-contest. Ang bilis mabawasan yung health ng Lord dito. Ang taas na ng damage ng RSG Philippines. And what I have to say about RSG, ang ganda ng mga counter engages na pull off nila. And Kenji, Aqua, big parts of those counter-engage. Grabe yung pag-timing nila at pag-respond nila sa mga engagements ginagawa ng Omega Esports. Tama yung mga sinusubukan ng Omega Esports. Ready lang talaga sumagot ang RSG Philippines.
And ngayon, play safe ang Omega Esports. Naghahanap sila ng bush na baka may nakatambay. And tama naman, kasi RSG Philippines, makita natin ngayon, nakaspread sila. Open sila kasi nga sobrang lamang nila. They even win the vision game dahil sa traps ng Popol and Koopa. And right now, they're gonna start choking. Omega Esports, kukunin nila ng purple. Si Ryzen, kawawa, ang hirap. Kanina sinabi ko, mga what? 6-7 minutes ago, ang hirap may Lancelot. Mas lalo ngayon.
Pag wala kang purple buff, pag yung mga kalaban mo nandun na sa jungle mo, sila na nagpa-farm ng jungle mo, ang hirap nga talaga dito. At tignan natin kung kaya ng Omega Esports depensahan to. Nasabi ko na kanina ang kailangan nila gawin, tignan lang natin kung magagawa nga nila o baka magkamali ang RSG Philippines.
Actually, yun ang isang inaantay na Omega Esports, magkamali ang RSG. Pero so far, tama ang call ng team na ito. Tama yung pressure nila na nilalagay. Iniwan yung Lord sa bot. Mid naman magiging target nila ngayon. Pinapaulan na ng skills ang wave. And they're gonna pressure both at the same time. Maganda ang flow ng RSG Philippines. And right now, look at the damage! Placed down on Mamba! Iakno cannot put a good pull, cannot get a good pull, and their tone of our memory shut down on to Kenji Villafors. So, bawas ng isa. For the first time in a while, nakala mga Omega Esports, pero naubusan sila ng Torres sa top lane. Was that worth it? The Ruby for the inhibitor up top.
Oo, inhibitor yun na wala doon sa Omega Esports. Kenji, makaka-respond naman yan yung mga Torre, hindi yan nagre-respond. So, and of course, that is an inhibitor turret as well. So, that's a big win for RSG Philippines. Pero Omega Esports, munti ka nang maging, baka ma-wipe out pa nga sila dun eh. Dahil si Aqua, nakabato siya ng magandang ultimate, but Omega Esports were able to respond well. Hindi ko alam kung naging miscomment sa side ng RSG Philippines or they decided na okay, dito tayo sa pader, sa labas tayo, hindi sila pumasok.
Oh! Kung na-pick off nyo, si Kenji, kami naman, double kill Renzo Falls alongside the Mamba na na-position doon off kilter, nahila lang paloob doon sa RSG Death Ball. Ryzen tumatakbo na. Outplayed yun namin yung second skill ng Brody para maka-dash through doon sa may purple buff. And just like that, yung onting lead ng Omega Esports na nakuha nila para makabawi ay nawala na naman muli. Sobrang bilis bumaliktad ng larong ito, mapupush nila at mata-take down ang mid lane inhibitor plus one more. Eto Max, na-pop ang passive. Down goes outplayed, na-shut down ng King Slayer. Shut down at Iakno pero tapos na, huli na. Hindi kaya dumepensa ni Kaidik, and that's game 1 going over to RSG Philippines.